Welcome back to Investing with Zeke. Please like and subscribe. What's been going on out there, guys? How has your guys' week been? Well, we've seen a video. I have seen it like 5 times. I'm sure all the Palantir guys out there, I'm sure you've seen it too. But you know what? We're going to watch it together. We're going to watch it again. That's right, because I remember those times when people were telling me to buy oil, telling me to buy gas. They were saying, you should buy wheat. You should buy Tesla. Or you should buy, they were just telling me to buy stuff. I remember I had a guy who was telling me to buy cold and boil. He was flipping them and switching them around. And I was like, man, that's gambling. Why you doing that? He got all mad, and he actually hasn't even talked to me since, because I kept telling him it was a gamble what he was doing. And he was like, well, what's Palantir going to do? What's Meta going to do? Well, I'm not going to call him by his name. We're going to call him Tim. But he knows who I'm talking about if you catch this video. So, Tim, yeah, you've made millions and millions of dollars. You may have lost it by now. You probably have lost it. Why did I tell you what I told you? Because I'm older than you. I know that sounds crazy. You're young. You think it's smart to do what you're doing. But, so who has the last laugh? Really? While people are trading and flipping and doing all that, while us Palantir guys, you know what we were doing? We were buying Palantir. That's what we were doing. While everybody else was making fun of us, calling us, it ain't probably a dollar stock. We were called the black box because nobody understood anything, I guess. So, us Palantir guys, we gotta rub it in a little bit. Like we need to be louder about it. Maybe you guys didn't hear us, because now the way we're sitting, you know how we're sitting? We're sitting good because everybody wants our stock, and we don't need to sell it. We don't gotta worry about waking up and being like, oh, we better sell it real quick because it's gonna drop, because that ain't gonna happen. They need Palantir. Look at what's happened this year. So right around here, I was buying. The real Palantir guys were buying. Actually, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We were probably the majority of us, I guess, were buying around this area right here. I mean, I was buying all the way back here. But at the end of the day, all of our averages probably are about here to a serious Palantir believers that were putting money in weekly. I was literally putting money into this stock weekly for a couple of years, right? While people were putting us down. Now look at us. Year to date, we're up 178.72%. I'm even saying the point. That way you get the point. You get the point? Because, we could sit back. We could sell, buy ourselves something nice, pay off our house, pay off our car, which I guess you shouldn't have a car payment, but I do. I'm a normal person, so I guess that's something you could say. But I'm glad I was buying Palantir because I was getting 178% return on it. Right now, I'm up 47% on it. So regardless of any way you look at it, we are destroying the market. Not just kinda. The average market return? Like 7, 8, 9%. Strongman's return? -1, 2, 3%. People do that forever. Until they die. But if you pick stocks like this, if you're a stock picker and you pay a little bit of attention, you'll get there a lot quicker than a lot of these other people. You will. And more proof how great Palantir is, because we need to talk to this guy out of Webbush, Dane Ivis. So he believes, well, I'll let you watch what he believes. Which this is a very respected institution. Like when they buy stuff, it's not BlackRock or anything like that, but they're right there with them, and they have an incredible track record from what I've seen so far. So this is why the stock has skyrocketed.
Dan, the Messi of AI. I mean, that's a tall order right there.
I think that's really what Carp's built. And in my opinion, it's still undiscovered as just a broader AI play, which is why I believe they're the Messi of AI. I think there's a golden path right now for them to monetize what we view as potentially $1 trillion market opportunity. And I think investors still have not recognized what this golden goose could be.
Yeah, I mean, as we just mentioned, the stocks moved pretty ferociously here in the last couple of months and since the start of the year. When you think about some of these newer AI applications in real time, they're already being applied on the battlefield. Case in point, Ukraine. Palantir is a key example of that. Do you think this is a situation where investors don't fully understand what this company does because so much of it is defense tech? And yes, I realize it's expanding out to the commercial side too, but there's a lot that they can't talk about, for example.
Well, I think that's the biggest misperception. I can tell you, we're talking to many in the 202 area code. The reputation of Palantir speaks for itself in terms of, any sort of operations, three-letter agencies. Now, if you're an enterprise CIO, and this is the conversations I've had, you're looking toward AI platform is potentially the first call. And that's why I think in this AI gold rush, what I view as the fourth industrial revolution, of course it's NVIDIA, Microsoft top of the mountain with Nadella. You look at second, third, fourth derivatives, right now Palantir front and center. And that's why I think this is a stock. You look at our bull case model, I think this is ultimately $25, and I think as they execute, more investors start to look at it.
Wow, and the stock's trading at about 17 or about 17.50 right now. Steve, want to get your thoughts on this, especially since Alex Karp, one of the co-founders and the current CEO of Palantir, did pen a very long, I'll say, op-ed in the New York Times about AI earlier this week.
Yeah, and comparing it to Oppenheimer and how this is really an opportunity. We hear so much, at least this is Karp's view, we hear so much from the community developing AI about being responsible and safe, and even years ago he brings up the examples of Microsoft employees upset about working with the Army and Google employees upset about doing that digital satellite imagery. He seems to kind of embrace it. I just want to pick out one quote from this. I mean, he calls for a, quote, more intimate collaboration between the state and technology sector, really comparing it to what Oppenheimer did, if you saw the movie or read the book or the history lesson about that, working hand in hand with the government before someone else does it. And he brings up the case about Ukraine. And I guess the other thing, Dan, I was kind of curious for your take on this, because there is a meme stockiness to Palantir too. I'm wondering how much of that factors into your calculation.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, there's a huge retail presence. Right. And I think this is one where maybe retail has been ahead of institutional in terms of understanding the actual potential AI story. I can tell you in my conversations today, it's really institutional investors being like, okay, what am I missing in the story? Where is the actual total addressable market opportunity? And can they go from government to commercial? Because I think when you start to look at it, that for them is really the opportunity. And if you're a CIO of an enterprise, there's no better reference account than those in those two areas.
But what does that look like? I mean, if you think about it, okay, so it's very opaque what they're doing on the military side of it. I'm just curious, what does that look like on the commercial side? Like, what are you seeing there? And especially, I know they're growing some clients and so forth. What are you seeing there?
I'd say from a platform approach, in terms of scale, and in terms of actual use cases, they're probably the first call. I think they're probably in this market the purest AI play out there. Now, they built it, others are coming, but it just speaks to our view in this fourth industrial revolution. Palantir is going to be a big player.
The first time I ever heard a major company say machine learning came from Palantir.
Yeah. And of course, there's applications that, supply chain, which is a big area now for many companies, manufacturing applications. There's something to be said about, okay, you work with the government, you work on, in a classified capacity. You have these high level clearances for things like cloud applications as well, which only handful of companies do. Palantir is one of them. You're going to keep my data safe. I'm sure there's probably that in of itself has a certain cachet with commercial clients, I would imagine. But How does it happen alongside an uncertain macro environment where people are tightening belts?
And then to the tightening belts, I think we started to see with IBM. I think we saw with Microsoft, Google, and others. I mean, for big tech, we're seeing an uptick. Ultimately, when it comes to AI, that's potentially 8-10% of budgets next year. And I do think you talk about reference accounts. You could sleep well at night when Palantir ultimately has your data in terms of from an AI use case perspective. And they're the only ones out there. They've proven it. Now they're proving it in the enterprise. That becomes a bigger piece. That's why then the stock gets re-rated, which is why we're bullish on it.
It's over, unfortunately, guys. Did you hear all that? What was the first thing that came to your mind when you guys heard that? That we were right the whole time? That maybe just buying index funds, we're not done yet. Let's get back to this screen. We're not done yet. Because see, what people aren't realizing is how far ahead retail actually is. Now, you do have people out there that are just buying crazy stuff, and don't get me wrong, it's easy to buy a company and then it goes bankrupt, especially if you're not if you're not really paying attention, listening to earnings calls and just kind of letting things slide. You can't let things slide. That's the one thing. Step one, make sure their management is correct. That's why I practically just put everything into Palantir and Meta. My whole portfolio is Meta and Palantir. Well, I mean, I have other stocks, I guess, and I've bought in other stocks, and we'll get into that. But how far ahead is retail ahead of these institutions? It's crazy. Like, we bought so early, guys. Even if you buy right now, we're buying so early that we're getting in an institutional level. Imagine what this stock will be in 5 to 10 years. This is going to probably be the reason why I get to retire in 5 to 10 years. Next to Meta has been a beast too, but if you, let's take a trip down memory lane. I mean, look, we're up right now here at, we're up 50% on this stock. But, I mean, if you were buying it when we were talking about it like crazy, when I was bringing it up, you'd be up almost 200%. So let's look at other stocks and I'm gonna go over stocks that no other YouTuber actually covered, because Palantir. I mean, if you want to give credit to Amit, I did not buy Palantir because of Amit. I promise to you, I swear to you, I actually avoid stocks that he picks. But other than the fact he's trying to take Robinhood, which I brought up Robinhood a long time ago. $8, $9. I was like, I'm buying Robin. I bought Robinhood at $8. Right, so, and I was able to swing trade it, maybe swung it a little too early. Even though I do believe Robinhood's still a buy now, it's the easiest crypto play in my opinion, because I don't know how far crypto will go. But it's just that I'm going to just take you down memory lane. So Robinhood, I was telling you to buy. Well, I wasn't telling you to buy. I was buying at $8, $9, right? Let me show you another stock nobody talks about. Allegiant stock. Another stock I was telling you guys about. You know how much, if I would have held it, even though I made a pretty good amount of money off of it, if let's go to year to date, if I would have held it, I would have been up 76%. Keep in mind that if you invest into just an index fund, you're getting 7% a year, 8% a year. And if you use one of those dumbass, no offense to the personal finance people, the people that offer like financial assistance, those guys, those guys are a joke. You get like 6 or 5% if you mess with like I don't want to say any companies' names, but if you go through one of those companies that just practically buy index funds for you, terrible idea. But Allegiant, I would have been up 76%. Even though I was taking money at, I think I was taking it at $85. So I was only up like maybe 30%, probably around 40%. That's when I definitely feel like I need to sell if a stock goes up that quickly. Also, a company nobody else was talking about, Coinbase. Now, this is after a collapse. Like, keep that in mind. This is after a collapse, another stock that I was covering. My returns blow Jeremy from Financial's returns away. It's not even close. So, and I was literally, I swear to you, what was this? I was buying at $30, $30. If I would have held this to all the way to now, I would be up 182%. But I did sell it at up 100%. Like I bought it at 30 and I sold it at like 70. That's pretty good. Like I got out of that because I don't trust crypto and crypto can drop overnight. What other stock was I talking about that nobody else was really talking about? Let me look. Shopify, I was talking about, and I bought Shopify and made money off of Shopify. But let's go to my channel here. Yes, I know I had that terrible mistake with with Silvergate, but Tesla, made a lot of money off of Tesla. And of course, Meta. Let's talk about Meta. I don't care about the other ones. So not only have I made most of my stock picks have went up more than 100%. You remember when I was telling people to buy Meta at $88, $90? I came out with a video. I may or may not have cried. Don't go back and watch that. It actually has Mark Zuckerberg with a goat on its face. But let's go to year to date. As you can see, we're up to $325 now. $325. And my cost basis is about $137. So I'm around here. So I'm up 140% on the stock so far, and I have no intentions of selling. I don't have to sell. Meta, I was thinking Meta is honestly a $450 stock. I came out with that, and it'll get there definitely. Well, not financial advice, whatever. But in my opinion, it'll get there. That's why I cannot sell this stock. There's nothing better than this stock, except the next stock that I actually, and it's not that it's better than this stock. Let me be very clear. It's not that it's better than this stock, and I will come out with a video on it. Let me put it in here. But yeah, I'll come out with a separate video on it because, guys, I believe it's time. And I said this on my last video. And if you would have even paid a little bit of attention. Here. Let's look up. Here, we'll just delete this. Now let me show you. This is just my little thing. I didn't tell you guys this is what I was going to do. Because, it's still really iffy. And like I said, I'll come out with a video on this stock. But I bought this a week ago. That's how much I'm up already. 34% on it. Where was I buying it at? Let's see. Right here, 168. That is literally my cost basis. And the second I bought it, it's been doing this. I'll explain why it's doing that and why I believe it's Telray's time and why the MJ space will be going crazy, I believe. I believe it's time. So, yeah, I mean, guys, I don't think I've been doing too many crazy things, but I'm happy for us Palantir holders. Congratulations. We will probably make a lot of money off this stock. We're going to keep our eyes on earnings. I will be definitely paying attention to the earnings. I might do the earnings call, but there's going to be so many people on it. Like, it's such a retail heavy stock that people were divided over, but now everybody's coming to our side. We're good. I don't know. Maybe I'll do the conference call, but we got to really pay attention. And it's time, Palantir, to show us the money. That's all I got to say about that. Anyway, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.